Most men don't get used because they are weak. They get used because they answer too easily. From the moment you learned how to speak, you were trained to respond. A teacher asks, you answer. A parent asks, you answer. A boss asks, you answer. And over time, that response becomes automatic. You stop thinking. You just reply. But here's the part nobody ever told you. Not every question deserves an answer. Some questions are not designed to understand you. They are designed to take something from you. Your time, your boundaries, your confidence, your position. And the most dangerous part? They don't sound aggressive. They don't sound manipulative. They sound normal, friendly, casual, even respectful. That's exactly why they work. Because the most dangerous questions don't feel dangerous at all. They feel like connection. They feel like trust. And by the time you realize what just happened, you've already given something away that you can't take back. This is how control is taken. Not through force, but through conversation. One question at a time. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 questions you should never answer automatically. And the 5th one is the reason all the others work. If you understand that one, you won't just avoid manipulation. You'll become very difficult to control. If you want to think clearly and stop reacting on autopilot, subscribe. Because once you see this, you won't hear conversations the same way again. Here's what most men don't understand. The problem is not the questions. The problem is how you've been trained to respond to them. From a young age, you were rewarded for answering quickly. Answer fast, you're smart. Answer politely, you're respectful. Agree easily, you're easy to deal with. So over time, you built an identity around being agreeable, around being responsive, around being low resistance. And in normal situations, that works. It helps you in school. It helps you in work. It helps you avoid unnecessary conflict. But there's a hidden cost. Because not every situation is normal. There is a category of questions that are not meant to understand you. They are meant to move you, to push you into a position you didn't consciously choose. And they work for one simple reason. You answer before you think. There's no pause, no filter, no moment where you step back and ask, what is this actually asking from me? So instead, you respond automatically. You say yes when you mean maybe. You agree when you feel uncomfortable. You explain when you should stay silent. And slowly, without realizing it, you start giving away control. Not in big moments. In small ones. A sentence here. A reaction there. Until one day, you find yourself in situations you didn't choose. Carrying responsibilities you didn't agree to. Explaining decisions you didn't make. And it feels confusing. Because nothing big happened. No major mistake. No obvious manipulation. Just conversations. Just questions. But those questions were never neutral. They were structured. Each one designed to extract something specific. Approval. Doubt. Responsibility. Information. Trust. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because now, you stop reacting. And you start seeing. You start noticing the pattern before you fall into it. And that's where control begins. Not in what you say, but in the moment before you say it. That small pause is the difference between reacting and choosing. Most men never build it. That's why they stay predictable. Easy to move, easy to influence, easy to control. But once you see this, you won't respond the same way again. Because now you know, every question is not just a question. Some of them are tests. And in the next part, you're going to see the first one. It looks harmless. It sounds polite. But it's one of the easiest ways to make you agree to something you never chose. You don't mind, right? This is where it starts. Not with pressure. Not with conflict. But with something that sounds polite. You don't mind, right? Think about the last time you heard that. A coworker puts your name on a weekend shift. Without asking. A friend shares a personal story about you. In front of other people. A family member makes plans that involve your time, your space, your energy. And only after it's already done, they turn to you and say, "You don't mind, right?" Pause. Look at what just happened. They didn't ask for permission. They acted first. And now they're asking for approval. After the decision is already locked in. This is not a question. This is a psychological setup. Because the way it's framed makes it very hard to say no. If you say yes, you lose control. If you say no, you look like the problem. Difficult. Rigid. Overreacting. So most men choose the easier path. They smile. They nod. They say, "Yeah, it's fine." Even when it's not. And in that moment, something small shifts. You just taught that person a rule. They can act without asking. And you will always approve later. Not because they're evil, but because you made it easy. And here's where it gets dangerous. It doesn't stop there. Next time, the request gets bigger. Then bigger. Then bigger. Because every time you say, "It's fine," you expand what people think they can take from you. Until one day, you realize people don't respect your time. They don't respect your boundaries. They don't even check with you anymore. Because they already know the answer. You trained them. And the worst part? You did it by trying to be easy to deal with. This is why Stoicism is not about being nice. It's about being clear. So the next time someone says, "You don't mind, right?" Don't react emotionally. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just say, "I would have preferred you ask me first." That's it. No anger. No drama. No long speech. Just a clean line. And that line does something powerful. It breaks the pattern. It tells people, you are not automatic. You are not available by default. You are not someone they can decide for. And from that moment on, something changes. People stop treating you like a resource and start treating you like a man who chooses. Can I be honest with you? This one doesn't come after a mistake. It comes right before one. You're talking about something you're excited about. A plan. A decision. A direction your life is finally moving toward. And for a moment, you feel clear. Then someone looks at you, pauses, and says, "Hey, can I be honest with you?" And almost automatically, you say yes. Because what kind of man refuses honesty? So you open the door. And that's when it happens. "I don't think this is going to work." Are you sure you're ready for that? I feel like you might be overestimating yourself. And just like that, something shifts inside you. Nothing external change. Your plan is still the same. Your ability is still the same. But now, there's doubt. A small crack. And that crack spreads. You start replaying their words. You start questioning yourself. You slow down. You hesitate. Not because they proved anything, but because they labeled it as honesty. And that word makes it hard to fight back. Because if you disagree, now you look defensive. If you push back, now you look insecure. So instead, you absorb it. And most men don't even realize what just happened. That wasn't honesty. That was permission-based influence. They asked first, so they could say anything after. And you agreed to receive it. Here's the truth most men miss. Real honesty doesn't need an introduction. People who genuinely respect you don't need to ask for permission to be real. They just speak. Calm. Direct. Without setting a trap. But when someone says, "Can I be honest with you?" what they're really doing is this. They're preparing you to accept something negative. They're lowering your defense before they say it. They're wrapping opinion inside the word, truth. And most of the time, It's not even about you. It's their fear, their limitation, their worldview, projected onto your life. And if you're not aware, you'll carry it. You'll shrink your decisions to fit their comfort. You'll delay moves you were ready to make. You'll start doubting things you were once certain about. That's how control works at a deeper level. Not by stopping you, but by making you stop yourself. So the next time someone says, "Can I be honest with you?" don't automatically say yes. Pause. And instead say, "Depends on what it is." Or, you can say it, "I'll decide what I do with it." Now everything changes. Because now, they don't have control over how you receive it. Their words have to stand on their own. No setup, no protection, no psychological advantage. And watch what happens. Most people hesitate, because without that permission, what they were about to say suddenly feels weaker, less certain, more like what it really is. An opinion, not truth. And once you see that clearly, you stop absorbing everything people throw at you. You start filtering. You start choosing. And most importantly, you stop letting other people's doubt become your identity. What would you do if you were me? This one feels different. It doesn't feel manipulative. It feels respectful. Someone comes to you with a serious situation, a job decision, a relationship problem, a financial risk. They explain everything in detail. They walk you through the options, the fears, the uncertainty, and then they look at you and ask, "What would you do if you were me?" And in that moment, you feel trusted. You feel important. So you think carefully and give them your best answer. What most men don't realize is this: that question just moved weight from them to you. Because now your opinion is no longer just an opinion. It's attached to their decision. If they follow your advice and it works, they take the credit. They made the right move. But if it fails, something changes. "You told me to do this. I wouldn't have done it if you didn't say that." Maybe they say it directly. Maybe they don't. But you feel it. That subtle shift. Now you're carrying part of the outcome for a decision that was never yours to make. And here's where it gets deeper. Sometimes, they already know what they want to do. They're not confused. They're not lost. They just want something else. A backup name. A shared responsibility. Someone to point to if things go wrong. And the moment you answer, you volunteer for that role without even realizing it. This is not advice. This is liability transfer. And it's one of the cleanest ways to make you responsible without authority. Because you don't control the situation. You don't live their life. You don't face the consequences. But somehow, your name is still attached to the outcome. That's a losing position. Every time. So instead of giving them an answer, you shift it back. You ask, "What are you leaning toward?" Or, "It sounds like you already know what feels right." Now something interesting happens. They pause. Because now, they have to own it. No more hiding behind your opinion. No more outsourcing the weight. They either step into the decision, or they realize they weren't ready to make it. And that's not your problem to solve. You can listen. You can ask questions. You can help them think more clearly. But you don't put your name on a choice you don't control. That's the Stoic way. Not cold, not distant, but clear. Because once you start carrying decisions that don't belong to you, you slowly lose control of your own life. One helpful answer at a time. Who told you that? This is where conversations get flipped. You bring something real to the table. A fact. A situation. Something you found out. Maybe a coworker is taking credit for your work. Maybe someone said something behind your back. Maybe you caught a lie. So you confront it. Calm. Direct. And instead of responding to what you said, they look at you and ask, "Who told you that?" And just like that, everything shifts. Now you're not talking about the problem anymore. You're explaining how you know. You're defending your source. You're justifying yourself. And the person who did the thing? They're no longer under pressure. You are. That's not a response. That's a redirect. A clean, precise move to take control of the conversation. Because if you answer that question, you lose in two ways. First, you betray the person who trusted you with that information. The one who spoke up. The one who told you the truth. You expose them. And once that happens, they become a target. They get questioned, discredited, cut off. And next time something happens, no one tells you. Because they know you give up names. That's how you go blind. Second, you protect the person you're confronting. Because now they don't have to deal with what they did. They just chase the source. They shift focus. They buy time. And most men fall into this trap instantly. Because they think, if I just explain clearly, they'll understand. They won't. Because understanding was never the goal. Control was. So the moment you hear, who told you that? You don't move. You don't explain. You don't give a single name. You hold the frame. And you say, that's not the point. Is it true or not? Then you stop talking. No extra words. No justification. Just silence. And now, the pressure goes back where it belongs. On them. They either address it, or they expose themselves by trying to avoid it. Either way, you stay in control because you didn't let the conversation get hijacked. That's the difference. Most men try to win arguments by explaining more, but control doesn't come from explaining. It comes from refusing to be moved off the point. And once people realize you don't give up sources and you don't get redirected easily, they stop playing that game with you. You trust me, right? This is the one that unlocks all the others. Because this question doesn't just take something from you. It disarms you completely. It usually comes at a very specific moment. Early in a relationship. At the start of a partnership. Right before someone is about to ask you for something bigger. They look at you, calm, warm, and say, you trust me, right? And everything in you wants to say yes. Because saying no feels wrong. It feels like you're accusing them. Like you're creating tension, for no reason. So you say it. Yeah, I trust you. And in that moment, you don't realize what you just gave away. Because that wasn't just a word. That was a commitment. Now every future interaction gets filtered through that sentence. Every time something feels off, you hesitate. Because now there's a voice in your head. But I said I trust them. Every time you want to question something, you pull back. Because now it feels like you're contradicting yourself. And that's where the trap closes. Because they don't need to control you anymore. You start controlling yourself. You ignore red flags. You justify behavior. You delay action. Not because you don't see the problem, but because you already made a declaration. And that declaration is now being used against you. But you said you trust me. I thought we had trust. Why are you questioning me now? And just like that, you're the one who looks inconsistent. You're the one who looks difficult. Not them. That's why this is the root question. Because once you say yes here, everything else becomes easier to take from you. Your boundaries in question 1 disappear. Your confidence in question 2 weakens. Your judgment in question 3 gets involved. Your silence in question 4 breaks. All of it runs on this one word: trust. But here's the truth most men never learn. Real trust is never asked for. It is observed. It is built, slowly, over time. Through actions. Consistency. Behavior under pressure. People who are truly trustworthy don't need to ask you to say it out loud. Because their actions already prove it. So when someone asks, you trust me, right? Don't say yes. Don't say no. Say this: I pay attention to what people do. Or, I let actions show me that over time. That's it. Clean, calm, unshakable. And watch what happens. A person with integrity? They respect that immediately. They don't push, because they don't need your words. But someone who needed that, yes. They get uncomfortable. They push harder. They try to force clarity. And in that pressure, you see the truth. Because if someone needs you to declare trust before they've earned it, it means their actions alone wouldn't be enough. And once you see that, everything becomes clear. You stop giving trust as a word, and you start giving it as a result. Before you move on, there's something you need to see clearly. Because these 5 questions, they're not rare. They're not special. They're everywhere. In conversations you had yesterday. In messages you're going to receive tomorrow. In people you already trust. And that's the part most men underestimate. They think manipulation looks obvious, aggressive, loud, easy to detect. But real control is quiet. It slips into normal conversation. It hides behind tone, behind familiarity, behind people you don't expect. That's why awareness matters. Not suspicion, not paranoia. Awareness. Because once you become aware, you start noticing patterns. You start hearing tone differently. You start seeing intention behind words. And something shifts. You don't feel pressure the same way anymore. You don't feel the need to respond instantly. You don't feel uncomfortable with silence. And that last part is where most men break. Silence. That small gap between question and answer. It feels uncomfortable. It feels awkward. It feels like you're supposed to fill it. So you rush. You answer. You react. And that's exactly why these questions work. Because they rely on speed. They rely on your need to keep the interaction smooth. But the moment you slow down, you break the mechanism. You take back control. Because now, you're not reacting to the question. You're evaluating it. You're deciding, does this deserve an answer? And that question alone changes everything. Because for the first time, you're not participating automatically. You're choosing. And once you build that habit, people feel it. They notice it. They adjust to it. Because you're no longer predictable. You're no longer easy to move. You're no longer someone who can be guided with simple words. And that's when something powerful happens. You don't just avoid manipulation. You change how people approach you. They become more careful, more respectful, more direct. Not because you said anything, but because of what you stopped giving away. Automatic answers. And once that's gone, everything else becomes stronger. Your boundaries, your confidence, your decisions, your silence. 5 questions. Each one simple. Each one easy to answer. And that's exactly why they work. Because most men don't lose control in big moments. They lose it in small ones. A quick answer. A polite reaction. A sentence they didn't think about. And over time, those small moments add up. Until one day, they look around and realize they're carrying things they never agreed to carry. They're explaining things they never chose. They're reacting to situations they never consciously stepped into. And it all started with answering too fast. That's the difference. Not intelligence. Not experience. Not confidence. Just one habit. A pause. A single moment between someone asking and you answering. In that moment, you ask yourself one thing. What is this really asking from me? Is it asking me to agree to something I didn't choose? Is it asking me to accept doubt I didn't create? Is it asking me to carry a decision that isn't mine? Is it asking me to expose someone who trusted me? Is it asking me to give trust before it's earned? Once you can see that, you stop reacting. And you start choosing. And that changes everything. Because the men who get used are not the weakest. They're the fastest to answer. And the men who stay in control are not the smartest. They're the ones who wait, who think, who decide before they speak. So from now on, don't rush to answer. Build the pause. Guard your words. And let people earn what they're asking for. If this made you see conversations differently, subscribe. Because most people are still answering on autopilot. And they have no idea what it's costing them.